Welcome to Miss Rowe Classroom. Today we'll discuss the chapter The Making of a Scientist by Robert W. Peterson. The chapter is an abridged article taken from a youth magazine titled Boy's Life, published in 1982. Richard Ebright's journey as a scientist began with childhood curiosity, nurtured by his mother through books, experiments, and guidance. Fascinated by butterflies, rocks, and astronomy, he learned early to observe and question nature. A book on monarch butterflies inspired him to conduct experiments, leading to successes and failures at science fairs. These experiences taught him the importance of experimentation, persistence, and critical thinking. His story shows that curiosity, discipline, hands-on learning, perseverance, and supportive guidance are essential in the making of a scientist. At age 22, Richard H. Ebright and his roommate, James R. Wong, proposed a new theory on how cells read DNA. Their paper was published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science, a prestigious journal. This achievement was akin to a young player entering major league sports and hitting a home run in the first game. Remarkable for a college student. Richard grew up in a small town north of Reading, Pennsylvania. His father passed away when he was in third grade. Ebright's mother played a decisive role in shaping his scientific temperament. She encouraged him to explore nature, accompanied him in his activities, and gave him tools to learn more, such as a microscope, a book on butterflies, and access to resources. She was more than a mother. She was his first research partner, helping him stay motivated when he felt limited in a small town. From here we gather the mother was not merely providing material support. She nurtured his habits of observation and inquiry, showing that support and guidance are crucial in the making of a scientist. Richard collected butterflies, rocks, fossils, and coins. He developed an early interest in astronomy, often stargazing through the night. By second grade, he had collected all 25 species of butterflies found locally. Within 6 weeks, he amassed an extensive collection of various butterflies. Richard Ebright's early interests show that becoming a scientist, or for that matter, an economist or historian, does not begin with reading books alone. It starts with an attitude of curiosity, collecting evidence, and observing patterns. His mother bought him The Travels of Monarch X, which described the migration of monarch butterflies to Central America. The book introduced him to scientific research and Dr. Frederick A. Urquhart of Toronto. It was a turning point. It turned his hobby of collecting into a scientific pursuit, connecting him with fundamental research. Ebright began tagging monarch butterflies for migration studies and later raised them in his basement to observe their whole life cycle. He released tagged butterflies, but only 2 were ever discovered within a 75-mile radius, prompting him to shift his focus from tagging to experimental research. His mother's purchase, a book, became a bridge between childlike curiosity and scientific method. It highlights how knowledge, when actively applied, can transform a person's life. In 7th grade, Ebright entered the county science fair with frog tissue slides under a microscope. He lost the competition because the project was only a neat display, not a real experiment. The disappointment of not winning was significant. It taught him that science is not about exhibiting things, but about asking questions and finding answers. This early experience of failure was a crucial lesson in resilience and the importance of real experimentation in scientific pursuits. Ebright's failure reflects that becoming a scientist or any thinker demands more than memorizing or displaying information. It requires critical thinking, original ideas, and experimentation. Learning from his failure, Ebright began working on projects that involved real investigation. He asked questions like, why do monarch caterpillars differ? What factors affect their development? His projects, including studying the life cycle of the butterfly using sophisticated experiments on hormones, DNA, and the cell structure of the monarch. Each experiment was designed to test a hypothesis rather than just to display. This practice eventually led him to significant scientific discoveries in his later career. Here we see how fields or subjects like science, economics, or history advance. It is not through passive learning, but through hypothesis, analysis, and testing evidence. The next part of the video has factual information from the chapter that requires rote memorization. In 8th grade, Ebright investigated a viral disease killing monarch caterpillars. He hypothesized beetles were responsible. The results were inconclusive, but the effort was recognized. In high school, he tested the theory of viceroy butterflies mimicking monarchs. He found that starlings ate monarchs, but the mimicry theory was later confirmed, and won first in the zoology division and third overall. In 10th grade, he studied the purpose of 12 gold spots on monarch pupae. He proved they released a hormone essential for development. He won the county fair and qualified for the International Science Fair and was placed third. He worked at the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research during the summer. In 11th grade, he conducted advanced experiments on monarch pupae and won first place at the International Science Fair. He also continued to work at the Army Lab. In 12th grade, he grew monarch wing cells in culture. He learned cells divided and developed normally only when fed hormones from gold spots. Ebright won first place in zoology at the International Science Fair and continued his summer research at the US Department of Agriculture laboratory. Ebright attended Harvard University, graduated with highest honors, second out of 1,510 students. His summer research at the Department of Agriculture helped identify the chemical structure of the hormone. During junior year, while studying X-ray photographs, he conceived a theory explaining how cells read DNA to control heredity. He built molecular models with Wong and co-authored a paper presenting the theory. If proven, his DNA reading theory could advance understanding of cellular processes, cancer, and other diseases. Ebright received the Searle Scholar Award and Schering-Plough Award for biochemistry and molecular biology. The article was published in 1982, and there Richard Ebright is mentioned as straight-A student who excelled in debate and public speaking. He was active in canoeing, photography, and outdoor activities. He admired teacher Richard A. Y. Herrer, who broadened his outlook and guided him in debate research. His teacher, Richard, mentions that Ebright is known for healthy competitiveness, striving to give his best, not merely for prizes. It highlights the crucial role of mentors in a scientist's journey, demonstrating how their guidance can shape a young mind and inspire them to achieve greater heights. The chapter highlights that the making of a scientist depends not only on intelligence but also on qualities such as curiosity, patience and perseverance, keen observation, creative thinking, and self-discipline. These qualities are universal. To become a scientist, one must combine knowledge with method. They must include observation, experimentation, analysis, and the courage to refine one's ideas. Books can provide the foundation, but it is through thinking and taking action that true discovery occurs. Let's move to the theme of the chapter. First, curiosity and exploration. The chapter emphasizes the scientific discovery begins with natural curiosity and a desire to explore the world. Observation, questioning, and experimentation are central to developing scientific skills. Second, perseverance and learning from failure. Success in science requires persistence and learning from mistakes. Early failures, like losing at science fairs, teach valuable lessons about methodology and problem solving. Third, guidance and support. Mentorship and encouragement, especially from family or teachers, are crucial in nurturing a young scientist's potential. Supportive guidance helps transform curiosity into meaningful experimentation. Fourth, passion and critical thinking. True scientific achievement stems from a love of discovery and the application of critical thinking to solve problems. It is not about winning prizes, but about understanding, analyzing, and contributing to knowledge. To summarize the explanation, the making of a scientist shows that becoming a scientist requires curiosity, persistence, and hands-on learning. Richard Ebright's journey from childhood experiments guided by his mother to groundbreaking research at Harvard illustrates the importance of observation, experimentation, and learning from failure. True success, whether scientific or in our personal lives, comes from passion, discipline, and critical thinking, highlighting the key qualities that make a person truly successful, irrespective of their profession. We have finished explaining the Class 10 chapter, The Making of a Scientist by Robert W. Peterson. For more in-depth study, visit our reference website, misroclassroom.com, for exam-oriented summaries, literary devices, themes, character sketches, extract-based questions, and extra questions for Class 10. If you enjoyed the content, ask questions, subscribe, like, and share the video. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Bye-bye.